Okay, so that in case we encounter technical difficulties, no problem. You can access the recording of this session in the link that I usually share in the Facebook page. Okay, especially because today I'm going to share very many strategies. I mean, really, in fact, I hope I will spend very little time on principles and then get straight into strategies. So many strategies that we can use as class advisors in order to really form the character of our students and make a difference in the lives of students entrusted to our care. Okay? Now, you look back to your years as students, grade school, high school, di ba, maalala natin, iba-ibang class advisor, no? Nagkaroon tayo ng iba't ibang klaseng class advisors. There were some who really made a difference. We cannot forget them. Pag alumni homecoming, babalik tayo sa eskwelahan, sila yung hinahanap natin. And we are excited to look for them because we want to shake their hands, look them straight in the eyes, and be able to tell them, Ma'am, sir, thank you very much. I am who I am because of you. Yan. Tapos sila naman sasabihin sa atin, ay, ito naman, sino ka nga ba ulit? Anong pangalan mo? They will not remember us. They do not remember us, not even our face, because sasabihin nila, sino ba itong nakakalbong batang ito? Parang familiar yung mukha. They cannot even distinguish us anymore. But we cannot forget them. But here's another reality. You and I also had some class advisors who were mediocre, okay? Or not bad, but so-so. Diba? We had class advisors who were spectacular, but we also had some who were nothing special because they didn't really leave a mark in us. That's the reality. And therefore, we can say, iba't ibang klase ang mga class advisors. Today, my dear fellow teachers, I invite you to choose to be an effective class advisor. The seminar today is nothing but an invitation. Let us choose to be an effective class advisor who really makes a difference and will mold minds and form character of the students entrusted to our care. If you were with us the past days, you must have heard me repeat that idea many times. Teachers, hindi ka binibigyan ng subject to teach. You are entrusted with young people to take care of. By teaching them math, by teaching them science, by teaching them English, but it's human beings, students who are entrusted to us to take care of and to teach, not a subject. That's why I remember last, when was that? I think July, one of the modules I gave was stop teaching subjects and start teaching children. Stop teaching subjects and start teaching children. It's these human beings that we are entrusted with to take care of. And it's a choice. Let's make a choice. I want to be an effective class advisor. Okay, our main sources for our strategies today will come from Rafe Esquith. I talked already about him the other day, but I know there are some of you who are first time to attend, and so I will mention some things about Rafe Esquith. He has been teaching for the last 28 years in a poor community in Los Angeles, grade 5. For the last 28 years, he's been only teaching grade 5 kids. Many of them ESL students, English as second language students. In a poor community in Los Angeles where most of the students end up failed, delinquent, or even jailed, except everyone who passes through the class of Rafe Esquith. Okay, may comment si Ma'am Rosa Neal, hindi raw ma-accept. Ma'am, we don't need to accept participants. They just have to create a Zoom account. Just click on the link and then follow the instructions given there by which you will be able to open a Zoom account. And then with the Zoom account, he should not have difficulty entering in. Okay, so, but Rafe Esquith's class, his students end up in Harvard, Stanford, Yale, all of them. Wow, how does he do that? I'm going to share with you his most important strategies as a class advisor. Although in his case, he's more than just a class advisor. It's a self-contained classroom. So he's the teacher from morning to afternoon, from the time the bell rings in the morning to the time the bell rings in the afternoon for dismissal. He's the only teacher in the classroom. He handles all the subjects, including recess and lunch. So, how does he do that? Samantalang yung mga estudyante dun sa eskwelahan na yon, many of them end up being delinquent, even jailed. But everyone who passes through the grade 5 classroom of Rafe ends up highly successful in Harvard, Stanford, Yale, and now many of them are highly successful professionals. Okay, may questions si Ma'am Emerita. Yung Facebook page where you can download, including the recording of this presentation today, is in Mannrentoy Downloadables in Facebook, or the address I'm going to show you later anyway is facebook.com/groups/free downloadables. Okay, free downloadables. So anyway, I will give the link later at the end of our session. And the class of Rafe Esquith, believe it or not, every single student at the end of the school year, grade 5, every single one of them gets to publish a book. Wow. How does he do that? I'm going to share with you his strategies. The bell rings at 7:30 in the morning for the start of class. Pero yung class ni Rafe, nandun sa loob ng classroom by 6 a.m. excited to do math and English drills. How does he do that? I'll share with you his strategies. The bell rings at 3:30 for dismissal, but all his students are there until 6 in the evening rehearsing for a Shakespeare play. Excited to do it, they're not forced. How does he do that? I will tell you his strategies. And then that Shakespeare play that they're able to produce, present at the end of the year, they get invited all over the United States to perform it. How does he do it? We'll talk about his strategies later on. Okay, so that is Rafe Esquith, and I'm going to share how is he able to do all that. And well, the bottom line is he teaches for character. He is a highly effective, successful class advisor and teacher and mentor and guide and friend to his students. I'm going to share all those strategies with you. He put all those strategies in his book, Teach Like Your Hair is on Fire. And I got to meet him in San Francisco. I tried inviting him to the Philippines so that that's one of the things, by the way, I do. I bring world experts to the Philippines to hold conferences so that we teachers can learn from the world experts. And then, but when he emailed me, sabi niya, okay, sure, my fee is $20,000 per session. Wow, 1 million pesos per talk. So sabi ko, never mind, I'll just buy your book, memorize it, and then I'll share the content to my fellow teachers. Not at 1 million, but only 200 pesos or even 300 pesos. So I'm going to share the most important ones, but there are very many strategies that he talks about in this book, Teach Like Your Hair is on Fire. Unfortunately, it's not very easy to find in National Bookstore. Usually I could get copies in Amazon or Kindle, the digital copy. Okay, and then the other source for our strategies today, we already talked also about him, Hal Urban, author of Lessons on the Classrooms, 20 Things Good Teachers Do. One of the best books you can find that contains strategies on character formation. And I'm going to share with you later how to get um, hold of a copy. I brought him to Manila 3 times already. And when he came, he left with me boxes of copies of lessons on the classroom. So we had to pay him for all the the supplies, the stock. But anyway, I will share with you later how you can get hold of a highly discounted copy of Hal Urban's book. Um, a fantastic speaker also. In fact, if you go to my if you go to my YouTube channel, you will see there a 2-hour lecture by Dr. Hal Urban. I encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Teacher Training. Just search Man Rentoy and then look for Teacher Training channel. And there are videos there of Hal Urban's lectures on 20 things good teachers do. But today I'm going to share already with you some of those strategies. Okay. And then the other one that I am going to share with you is this fantastic book um, entitled it's a collection of strategies gathered together by Dr. Thomas Lickona, Smart and Good High Schools. If you go to Mannrentoy downloadables page in Facebook, you scroll down, you're going to be able to find a copy of this and you can download it for free. Okay? So he's a very good friend of mine. I brought him to the Philippines 4 times. He is considered as the grandfather of character formation in the Philippines because he is responsible for recruiting some of the biggest names in the field of character building, character formation, character education, including Dr. Michele Borba. Those of you who attended our past day sessions, you must have heard me mention her, Hal Urban, and well, not Ray Fesquith, but many of the other experts who are in the field of character building. He is the one responsible for recruiting them. Okay, so our principle is this. We don't want just to raise kids who are geniuses, intelligent people. What's my use of a person who is intelligent, matalino, pero ginagamit ang kanyang katalinuhan para gumawa ng kasamaan? We don't want to see menace like that in society who use their talent, their skill, their abilities to be able to engage in corruption, to steal money from the government, from the taxpayers' money. We are seeing this in our society today. And this is the reason why now more than ever, we have to form the character, raise young people who will have morals, who will choose to do the right thing, the good thing all the time. Especially because historically, this specific environment that the young people are growing up in today, it's described by researchers as the most pernicious, clandestine, and insidious in the way it manipulates mindsets, in the way it distorts values of young people. Okay, so I need you to accept these principles if I'm going to make any sense to you this afternoon. Okay? Here are some principles that I need you to accept to be able to make sense of bakit kailangan natin ng strategies? Bakit kailangan nating maging effective class advisors? Principle number 1, an effective class advisor can have the greatest impact on the formation of the students. Think about it. As I said, alumni homecoming, most of the time, ito ang hinahanap natin. The class advisors who made a difference in our lives. Because they were the ones who made the greatest impact on our formation. On his or her effectiveness or ineffectiveness lies the spirit of the class or the lack of the spirit of the class. I mean, think about it, di ba? Meron kang mga minsan may classes acquire a certain character. Yung class na yan, grabe, sakit ng ulo yan. Yung class na yan, gustong-gusto ko magturo dyan, napakapabait ng mga tao, very respectful, very kind, they follow rules. Dyan sa klase na yan, the students are so courteous. They always greet you in the corridor. Di ba? At a certain point, some classes acquire a certain character. And then what do we sometimes say? Ay, kaya pala ganyan yung batang yan. Nasa class advisory ni Mrs. Reyes. Nasa class advisory ni Miss Malonzo. Nandyan pala yan kasi sa class ni Miss Roldan. The classes start acquiring a certain character, reputation. Reputation. And the kind of reputation the class acquires, many times you can trace it to anong klaseng effectiveness or ineffectiveness meron ang class advisor nila. That's why sometimes ang title na binibigay ko sa session na to is this, Conjuring the Spirit of the Class. The class advisor is able to create a culture, a mindset, a spirit, a character, a reputation. That is if the class advisor is effective. Okay? Now, take a look at the expectations that we have of class advisors. I know many of you, if not all of you, have been or are class advisors. That's why you're in this session. I need to erase in your mind, class advisory is not all about checking attendance and collecting reply slips. Period. Yung bang parang ang alam lang natin sa class advisory is yun, mangongolekta ng payments for the intrams shirts. Mangongolekta ng yung letters, yung reply slips, yung letters na pinadala natin sa parents. Tapos magsasubmit ng attendance sa registrar's office. Tapos sisiguraduhin that the card is given to the parents during the distribution. Okay, kailangan yon, but that is very, very little compared to what really is expected of the class advisor. In fact, lahat ng minention ko so far, magkokolekta ng payments para sa Christmas party, magkokolekta ng reply slips, magche-check ng attendance. Students are supposed to be the ones doing that, not the class advisor. You should be empowering your class officers to be able to do that. Here are the expectations of a good, effective class advisor. Number 1, class advisors should have a full understanding and sincere appreciation of the spirit of the school. You know why? Because it's the class advisor, really, it's the class advisor who is tasked with a duty of getting the students to understand and to appreciate the spirit of the school. It's really the class advisor. In the advisory class, in the advisory period, siya ang may responsibilidad na kailangan magawa niyang maintindihan ng mga estudyante what it means to be a student of this school. What are our core values? What is our school's mission vision? So, if that is the expectation of the class advisor, dapat siya mismo should have a clear understanding and sincere appreciation of the spirit of the school. If we expect him or her to be able to do that, then dapat siya mismo kailangan naiintindihan niya, mapapaliwanag niya ng malinaw what it means to be a student of this school. So these are the things that class advisors should be frequently doing in the class advisory. Reviewing with the students the school's mission, vision, what we stand for, our core values. Number 2, because the class advisors are the direct link, well, with the students and then with the parents. Di ba? Uh, it's the class advisor who writes a note to the parents, Mrs. So and so, your son has been absent too many times. We need to work on helping him with all the, di ba? Mrs. So and so, your daughter needs to prepare well for the exams because she has to catch up. She is lagging behind. Now, if we are the ones communicating directly with the parents, ay, dapat magaling tayong I mean, dapat acceptable ang ating communication skills. Orally or in writing. Orally, kasi tayo pa nga nagdi-distribute ng card, di ba? And then when we distribute the card, that is the time when we are supposed to give feedback to the parents. I tell you, parents judge the school by what they hear or read from the teachers, from the class advisors. Kung mali-mali ang grammar niyan, sa over the dinner table, sasabihin ng nanay, ay, ano ba naman tong letter ng teacher mo? Ganito bang tinuturo sa inyo sa eskwelahan? Ganito bang standards ng school? They start judging the school according to what they see, what they hear from the communications, especially with the class advisors. So we need to make sure the class advisors can, with ease, communicate effectively. And then number three, kilala ko kayong class advisor because I've been a class advisor for decades. Hindi lang kayo class advisor. Ano rin kayo choreographer ng Christmas dance number ng estudyante nyo. Kayo rin ang cheerleader sa intrams, yung pinakamalakas na sumigaw sa cheering. Kayo rin yung coach sa basketball, intrams, kahit wala kang alam sa basketball. Kayo rin yung coach and trainer sa sabayang bigkasan for your class. Di ba? I mean, as a class advisor, you have been on top of all these so many activities throughout the school year. Tapos buwan ng wika na. Tapos intrams na. Tapos foundation day na. Tapos Christmas program na. And we have to be on top of all these, all the so many things happening. Therefore, that's another expectation of class advisors. We have to have a certain intellectual capacity and a bit of managerial skills to oversee all these activities and to help the students manage all these so many activities throughout the year. Okay, therefore, if there are administrators in our session today and you are asking, paano kaya natin mapapagbuti, mas mahuhusayan pa ang ating pagiging class advisors? Well, this is it. These are the training seminars that you should be giving your class advisors over and over. Sincere and full appreciation of the spirit of the school, a frequent visit to the core values, the mission vision, communication skills, and organization skills, or if you want, project management of sorts, time management. These are the things, therefore, that class advisors should be given. And yeah, it's worthwhile because in the end, we realize, well, it's the class advisor who is in a position to really make the biggest impact in the formation. In fact, I know some of you class advisors, minsan your students, especially yung mga older ones, no? High school, senior high school, minsan the students find it easier to open up to you than to their parents. Diba? Some of the students will come to you, ma'am, buntis po ako, hindi ko masabi sa nanay ko, papatayin niya ako. And then they go to the class advisor, the second mother, the second parent. Diba? I'm sure you who have been class advisors for years have experienced that. Sometimes when students cannot turn to anyone, they see you as the only one that they can confide to. And that is an effective class advisor. Ibig sabihin, nakita ng bata, nakita ng estudyante, ito, trustworthy itong class advisor kong to. He really is concerned about me, my welfare. She really wants me to do well, not just to pass subjects, but to be good and to become a successful person in all aspects of life. Okay, so that's a preamble that I need you to accept. Otherwise, magiging katawa-tawa yung strategies na i-share ko sa inyo. Parang iisipin nyo, napaka-exaggerated naman itong mga strategies ni Mr. Rentoy. Parang it's already madness. That's why yung book of Rafe Esquith, the Teach Like Your Hair is on Fire, nakita nyo yung subtitle or yung nandun sa title under, The Methods and Madness of Room 56. For 28 years, he's been assigned to that classroom in Los Angeles, room 56. And he says, I think the first 4 chapters. So, okay, these are the methods. Now, I'm going to discuss the madness. It's only for crazy teachers. Teachers who are crazy enough to go beyond the minimum in this next coming chapters. Especially because nowadays, di ba, when we talk more and more about depression, students going through tough times, okay, they need the class advisor as a parent, as a second or third parent, especially because now we have more and more students coming inside their classroom and they come from irregular situation, dysfunctional families. It's happening everywhere. We now have more and more students who come from situations like that. Okay, so class advisors, sabi nitong Senate resolution, if a school is a vibrant, innovative, child-centered place, if it has a reputation for excellence in teaching, if students are performing to the best of their abilities, one can almost always point to the principal leadership as the key to success. But the same study also says, so yung kanina, school, pero ngayon, if a class is a vibrant, innovative, child-centered place, if it has a reputation for excellence, if students are performing to the best of their ability, one can almost always point to the class advisor's leadership as the key to success. Okay, so that is our interest now, the leadership of the class advisor in being able to produce, create a certain culture of excellence, a mindset of working together, a spirit of camaraderie and friendship among the students, that it becomes more than just a class. It's like a one big happy family working together as a team. The class advisor is key to being able to produce that. Okay, so I want to go straight into systems and strategies that I want to share with you. Here's the first system. And you know, I taught in Westbridge, the school I founded in Iloilo. I taught in Southridge for 15 years. I taught in Northfield School for boys for 5 years. I taught in Bannister Academy, a young school there in Libis, Quezon City for 6 years. In all these schools where I taught, I made sure I put in place this system, the award, the class excellence recognition, award for class excellence. It's a system, it's a whole system where you assign points for students being able to do things. Class, diba, you're familiar with a point system of Harry Potter. 50 points for the Gryffindors. Yeah. So the whole school is divided into 4 houses. This time around, every class is one team, is one house. And you will assign points for whatever you want the classes to be able to do, to be able to accomplish. For example, 100 points for a class that can have 0 absence in 1 month. 50 points for a class that can have 0 tardiness in 1 month. The 100 points for a class that will have clean classroom recognition consistently every day. When we did that, the janitor's job at the end of the day is not to clean. The janitor goes from room to room, evaluating the classroom's state of cleanliness. And there are usually only 4 items. The board is clean, erased, the rows are aligned, there is no trash in the inside the classroom, and the trash can area is clean. So if they are able to get 4 checks at the end of that day, when the janitor comes inside the room to check after dismissal, then that is clean classroom recognition for that day. And to be able to get the 100 points, the classroom should be able to get complete checks for at least 4 days every week for the month. And then the class is given 100 points. Now, I know many schools have a tough time getting the parents to attend parent conference, parenting talks. I was invited last year to give a talk to a school there in Alabang with the 4,000 students. 4,000 students. And all the parents were invited to attend my talk on raising children of character at home. No? Pagpasok ko ng auditorium, there were only around 150 parents there. Tapos mapapakamot ka na lang ng ulo mo kasi iisipin mo, ay, kala ko 4,000 parents times 2, mother and father. So dapat 8,000 ang makikita ko dito. Hindi, wala pang 200. Now, schools have a tough time getting parents to come. Okay, we will tell the classes, if your class is able to bring 100% attendance of your parents to the parenting talk, your class will get 200 points. 90% lang of the parents attend in your class, okay, 180 points. 50% lang, okay, 100 points. So you now have students forcing their parents, Mom, please come to the parenting talk, come to the assembly. We need the points for the class excellence. So whatever you want the classes to be able to do, assign points for the class excellence award. Now, here's the magic of the recognition for class excellence. At the start of the quarter, for example, you're going to announce, okay, your class will qualify for the quarter, your class will qualify for the Class Excellence Award if your class is able to reach 2,000 points, okay? Any class that is able to garner 2,000 points will be given the Class Excellence Certificate or trophy or tarpaulin or recognition. In other words, you see, the students are not competing against each other. The classes are not competing against each other because every class, for as long as they work hard on being clean, having attendance, good attendance, zero tardiness, any class can actually reach 2,000 points and can qualify for the class excellence. It's not that they're competing with the other classes. Okay, so let's get into that. For example, in Bannister Academy, a young school there in Libis, Quezon City. Excuse me, sorry. This is the logo of Bannister. May dalawang lions, tapos yung seal, yung shield. Okay, let's give the Class Excellence Award a name. Let's call it the Lion Award for Class Excellence. Para may dating, hindi yung Class Excellence recognition lang. And then in Southridge for a while, Southridge School, it's an all-boys school in Alabang where I also graduated high school. Sabi ng principal one day, let's make our motto this year, soar great heights. Soar great heights. Okay? Para may battle cry tayo. Okay, so ang ginawa namin that year, ang tawag namin sa Class Excellence Award is Eagle Award for Class Excellence. Because an eagle, um, you know, expresses that, yung exemplifies soaring great heights. So we call it the Eagle Award for Class Excellence. In Northfield, our the parang seal is like a vinta and then an anchor. Okay, parang seafarers, no? That's why they're called the mariners. The students are called mariners. Okay, so let's call it the Lighthouse Award for Class Excellence. So you put it a name that will make the students excited about it, and then to give it a class and an identity. And then the scoring, instead of simply 50 points, 100 points, walang dating, ano? So as I said, because Bannister's how do you call that, seal is yung shields, so we will call it 50 shields. Yan. In the case of South Ridge, yung Soar Great Heights Eagle Award for Class Excellence, instead of calling it points, we called it wings. 50 wings for section so and so, for having 0 tardiness, 0 absence. And then the Bannister, 100 shields for the class that is able to have 100% attendance of parents in the fun run, in the parent orientation. You remember the past days I've been talking about, please make sure, organize a parent orientation, an orientation for your parents on how they can help your children, your students in this online setup. They have to be oriented because things are not the same. Okay, so let me show you an example of a listing of some ways by which students can get classes, can get points. This is from Bannister Academy faculty manual, or how do you call that? Class advisory manual. By the way, I crafted a faculty or class advisory handbook that tackles all these things, and it's there available for downloading in the Facebook page. No? So for example, 0 absence, 0 tardiness, clean classroom recognition that I talked about earlier, students being able to make it to the varsity team and then to be in good standing or in clubs. Then every student that is able to contribute to, is able to join a club, a varsity, contributes to the class points. Every student that competes in an international competition, for students that are able to compete in a national competition, for students that are able to compete in a district competition. So you see, when students contribute to class prestige, class honor, class reputation, they are able to get win points for the class. Then I mentioned earlier, getting the parents to attend parent-teacher conference, PTA meeting, parenting talks, parenting orientation. Okay, assign points for percentages of attendance, or attending the fun run. Every now and then, schools have mga fundraising. Okay, we can assign there points for the class being able to solicit this much, will get this number of wings, this number of points. Newspaper drive, pet bottles drive, maintaining the bulletin board every month with different themes. And I like it really very much in these schools I worked in, where students, this one parang talagang nagiging competition, pagandahan ng bulletin board that the students themselves maintain, not the class advisor. The students have to be the ones working hard on this because they want to get the points. Commendation given by any teacher to a class for exceptional behavior. And then, of course, the biggest wings, points, shields should be allotted for honors, the honor rolls, because that's what we expect the students to do in the school, to study and study hard. So therefore, um, students, or if 100% of the students are able to make it to the first honor, second honor, third honor, give the class a very big points for that. 90% lang, okay, 90 points. Na 80% lang, okay, 80 points. But I would even give more, really, because that is the most basic thing that we expect them to do in school, to study and to achieve. And then whatever other um, things you want to attach to this, and you see, it becomes easier to get the classes to do what you want them to do, because the principle is you stand a better chance of getting the students to do what you want them to do if they're working to get a reward than to avoid a punishment. I'm going to talk about that, especially tomorrow, on classroom management and how to discipline effectively. I was a class advisor for many years. Even if I was a principal already, vice principal, I insisted on being class advisor kasi kita ko yung importance of class advisory. Now, let me share with you the different points my class won for our initiatives, because you will also announce. And then any initiative that the class comes up with, we will give corresponding points. And my class came up with so many initiatives. We did a newsletter to welcome the parents. We put up our class website. We did a pilgrimage to Tagaytay. We went to Enchanted Kingdom twice, maybe even more later on. We had we invited one of the older students to come to, this is grade 7D, to come to our class and perform magic tricks while we were taking lunch together as a form of bonding. We went to fully booked one Saturday afternoon and just spent the afternoon there looking for good books to buy. We attended a get-together with a bishop. We went to a pilgrimage in Baclaran. We went to an outing in Serendra. We did corporal works of mercy in Hospital ng Muntinlupa, visiting sick, but very sick young children. We went to support for the prisoners. We did a clothes drive for the families of the janitors, maintenance men, security guards. We held a birthday party for one of the school officers, for one of the teachers. We were champions in baseball. We had full collection, etc. So you see what's happening now. The Class Excellence Award is like an impetus for the class advisor to form his class to be motivated, to aggressively work on being able to get all these points. That's why in the end, my conclusion is the Class Excellence Award is really a recognition of the class advisor's effectiveness. If the class advisor is effective, he will work hard and make the class an excellent class because he is the one in a position to create a culture, a mindset, a spirit. Now, to make it even more exciting, you have to have a class name. Hindi pwedeng 50 points for grade 6B. Ano yun? Grade 6B. Ang pangit. It's so generic. No, we have to have a class name. So this is one of the things that school should be doing during the first days of the school year, even on the very first day of the school year. Okay, class, what name will we have as a class by which we will become known? My class became known as the 5B Best Bets. Okay, but one year, the principal said, to make it uniform, let's have adjective and animal. Okay, so we will become the daring deer, the brave barracudas, the honest whatever. So a virtue and then an animal. That will be the class name, so that we are not just known as 7D. We are the daring darters. We are not just known as the grade 5B. We were the 5B best bets class. But even better, in order to really create an identity, well, that's the class name, a class spirit, a class mindset. Let's have a class motto. Choose a class motto. The first day of the school year, that's one of the things that the students can be working on. What will be the motto of our class? In our case, we are the 5B best bets. Our motto is be the best. Very nice. We are the 7D daring darters. Our motto is driven to excel. Good. We are beginning now to have a certain mindset, a certain identity. But even better, something that we can see, make the students design a class logo. Chances are you have 2, 3 students there who are artists, who can draw, make them draw, and then let the class vote on which of the drawings will be chosen as the official logo of the class. Some students, some grade levels in the lower grades in Southridge even went beyond the class motto, class logo, class name. They even created a class cheer that they will recite at the start of the day. You see, we are now creating a mindset, an identity, a spirit. Okay, so let me share with you how it looked like in the Southridge experience so that you see how doing this effectively or doing this well can effectively create not just a class culture, class mindset, class identity. You have now a whole school that is like championing virtues. Well, you create a school of character. So, as many of you probably know, it's a school in Alabang, all boys. I was one of the first students here back in 1979 when it opened, when we were grade 7. We were the first graduates. And then I went back there later to teach for 15 years. So, let's take a look at some of the classrooms. Here is classroom 6A. And the name they chose is, sabi nila, we are the resolute wolves. Very nice. And they chose core values. Our core values here are respect, fortitude, and responsibility. It's the students who chose that on day 1. And then may pinili pa silang motto, Latin pa, duc in altum. Launch out into the deep. Very nice, ano? Launch out into the deep. Words of Jesus when he told Peter, Peter was trying to catch a fish the whole night and he didn't catch any. And then Jesus appeared to them in the morning and told him, go into the deep. And you know what happened next. The miracle of the catch of the really a lot of fish they caught. The boat was almost near sinking. So that's grade 6A. Here is another class, grade 2A. And they call themselves, we are the grade 2A hardworking ants. And they have 4 core values: courtesy, obedience, order, kindness. Pinapili yung mga bata at the start of the year. What are the virtues by which we should become known by? Okay, sabi nila, we have to be known as courteous people, obedient people, orderly people, kind class. And then you enter the classroom. Yes, you will see virtue of the month there, which is another system I talked about the other day, especially if you have 10 virtues and there are 10 months. Okay, let's emphasize 1 virtue per month. And then how to keep it alive? Make the students write or propose a motto related to the virtue. And that motto we will we will change it every week. But for that week, our motto will be, I will do my task well without being told. And the students are supposed to write that on top of the page of every paper that they will use, 1/4, 1/2, 1/2, test papers. They will write the motto there so that they are frequently reminded. And then the following week, we will change that motto proposed by one of your classmates. It's alive. It makes the virtue alive. Okay, so this is what you will see. In the case of Southridge Grade School, tomorrow I'm going to talk about this in the classroom management and how to discipline. They have the same classroom rules in all the classrooms, and they chose these 5. And it's the same. Kahit anong classroom ang pasukin mo, the classroom rules are pare-pareho the same. Okay, along the corridor, you will see again, announced there, the virtue of the month. I mean, this is a school of character where you can see, hear, almost touch and taste virtue everywhere. Let's go to another classroom. This is grade 2C. Sabi nila, they are the friendly cobras. I don't know how a cobra can be friendly, but anyway, that's the name they chose. And yeah, they have courtesy, obedience, order, and kindness also as their core values. That's what you see inside the classroom. Here's grade 3B. We are the brave barracudas. And our core values are bravery, loyalty, zealousness. And then we have a motto, excellence is a habit. Very good. Now, you don't just find the name, the motto, you also find the logo. You see, the students were asked to design, and then the school artist later on would put it in a more or less uniform way in this banner that is displayed. And when the students enter the classroom, they are reminded of that class logo. You see what we're doing here? We are really creating a class mindset, class identity, class spirit. This is grade 1A, the enduring Ascals. And their values are faith, respect, and responsibility. And the motto they chose is, I will always do what is right, the enduring Ascals. Okay, now let's make it even more exciting. You have a class logo, class motto, class cheer. Every month, to start the month, you have a school-wide assembly. And as the students enter the auditorium or the gymnasium, if you do your assembly usually in an auditorium or gymnasium, they see their logo, their banner, their class banner displayed on the stage. Some of them, when they see their banner, as they enter the auditorium, they cannot help but start doing their class cheer. That identity, they feel, they think that class, they belong to that class. Okay, it's given there because in this assembly, the principal is going to announce the new virtue of the month. They will usually invite somebody to talk about the virtue of the month and who will give students ideas on what the virtue is all about and how they can live the virtue in school and at home. But the most awaited moment is when the principal is going to announce the standing of the Class Excellence Award for Class Excellence. The principal, well, we usually would do it in an exciting video PowerPoint presentation complete with music. But the bottom line is just to announce, Brave Barracudas at this moment has 1,600 points. And you imagine the students of Brave Barracudas cheering. But the loyal Akitas have 2,100, and the louder cheer you hear from loyal Akitas. And the friendly Cobras at this point have 900 points, and then you hear a bit of jeering from the other classes. Now, remember, they are not competing with each other. It's any class that is able to reach the quota points qualifies for the Class Excellence Award. But now the competition is to be the highest pointer. to have the highest number of points. And so everyone becomes driven to do initiatives, to have zero tardiness, to have zero absence, to get into the honor rolls, and etc. But in Southridge, the highlight is when Captain Virtue comes out on stage. Captain Virtue, he is really just one of the teachers, and he wears this Captain Virtue attire because he is going to give recognition to students who lived the virtue of the previous months, the virtue of the month of the previous month in a special way. He is going to give certificates to students who lived in an exemplary way that last month's virtue. For example, if the virtue of the month is hard work, how can you recognize hard work? Let's give recognition to students who improved in their grades. They used to be doing this. Now their standing is this. That's hard work. That means they put in hard work. Sincerity. How can you give recognition to sincerity? The students who turned in lost and found items. That means they were sincere. They found a 50 peso bill and then they surrendered it to the teacher. That's sincerity. He deserves a certificate given by Captain Virtue. And of course, they get excited to have their picture taken with Captain Virtue or even just to meet Captain Virtue. This is for the elementary levels. Okay, and they go home excited to show their parents that certificate that they were given recognition for the virtue. In the case of Southridge Elementary, they even went beyond the class logo, class motto, class cheer. They even have class shirt with the logo, with the banner of their class displayed there. And they were assigned colors to make it color scheme division. So it works. It works. It makes the students excited about achieving, about doing well, about being able to, I mean, all those things I mentioned are good things. Zero tardiness, zero absence, cleanliness, being able to make it to the honor list. And they are greatly appreciated by the parents, and they work really. It is now 4:03, and as I've always done, I would have to give a bit of a break to us. I will first, let me see. Let me just stop first, pause. Yeah, so that in case you encounter technical difficulties, we are now in another set of systems and strategies. Let's go to Rafe Esquith's classroom, the strategies of Rafe Esquith. As I said, yung title ng book niya is Methods and Madness in Room 56. And much of what I'm going to share with you, the strategies I'm going to share with you now, are part of madness of Rafe Esquith. Here's what he did. One day, he asked the question, why is it that sometimes my impact is great? Sometimes it's not as great. He asked the question, when are we teachers able to really make a great impact in our students? You know the answer he discovered? When are we teachers able to make a great impact in our students' life? And the answer he discovered is this. Teachers, you are able to make the greatest impact on the lives of your students when you teach them life skills. Okay? When you are able to teach them skills they will need for the rest of their life, not simply skill to pass a test, a quiz tomorrow or next week, not simply a skill to be able to pass a course, but skills they will need for the rest of their life. And so what he did was to devise a system by which he is able to teach his grade 5 students life skills. And he concocted a whole system, and he called it the economic system of Room 65. And here's how it works. I'm going to share it with you. Now, let me just give you a bit of warning. Rafe Esquith is very strong in developing sixth level of moral development among his students. Well, unfortunately, it's still tomorrow when I will discuss the 6 levels of moral development. But just to give you a quick glimpse into it, he followed the 6 levels of Kohlberg, the 6 levels of moral development of Kohlberg, who asked the question, bakit nagpapakabit ang isang tao? And the lowest level, according to Kohlberg, is because I don't want to get into trouble. I don't want to be punished. I don't want to be sanctioned. I better behave. That's the lowest level. Second level, I want a reward. Yan. Magpapakabit ang bata kasi sabi ni ma'am may movie, may good job mark, stamp mark na ilalagay dyan. I want a reward. Number 3, I want to please somebody. Magpapakabait ang bata because minsan tawag natin doon sip-sip, just trying to please the teacher. Level 4, I follow the rules. And that's already a more or less mature way of thinking, right? Bakit ka magpapakabait? Kasi nandun sa rule yan because that's in the student's handbook, because that's in the policy. 5th level, why are you behaving? Because I have to be considerate of other people. I have to be considerate of my parents who are paying for my tuition. I better study hard. I better behave. I have to be considerate of my teachers who are trying to teach me. That's 5th level of moral development. I have to be considerate of the sacrifices of my teacher. I have to behave. I have to listen. But the 6th level is, bakit ka nagpapakabit? The highest level of moral development is because I live by principles. I have a personal code of behavior and I follow it. I have core values and I live by it. You see, that's the highest level of moral development. And I think this is the biggest success. This is the biggest factor for the success of that school in Katipunan. Na kahit sinong batang tawagin mo doon, anong gustong gawin ng eskwelahan sa'yo? Here in our school, they want us to be a man for others. Everybody knows it. It's the 6th level of moral development. I have to behave, I have to do well because I have to be a man for others. I have a personal code of behavior and I live by it. So Rafe Esquith is very strong in that one. He always wants to make the class do things out of principle, do things as a matter of code of behavior. You see, this is the reason why teachers, we are better, we can be more successful in disciplining, in managing our students when we are able to say, class, I expect best behavior because you belong to this class, because you belong to the 5B Best Bets class. And I've already made it very clear from the beginning, 5B Best Bets stands for respect, responsibility, kindness. We have a personal code of behavior and we live by it. Not the first level. You better watch out, class, you better watch out. I will punish you if I find you talking during the first Friday Mass. That's level 1. Class, come on, behave. If you behave well, I will reward you with a movie. We will watch a movie. That's second level lang. So always, Rafe would be very strong in 6th level of moral development. I have a personal code of behavior and I live by it. Because I have to warn you that, I have to give that warning, because some schools around the world learned about the economic system of Rafe and they tried copying it without the 6th level. This is going to just foster greed, as you're going to see. Okay, let me now talk about the economic system. Here's how it works. Day 1, the students enter the classroom of Rafe. He welcomes them. He excites them about the school year. He gives them some basic rules, and then he will tell them, okay, class, here in our classroom, we have an economic system. That chair that you are using, you have to pay a monthly rental. Life skills, ano? O nga naman, walang libreng bahay. And if you're not able to pay the monthly rental for that chair that you are occupying, you have to sit on the floor. Okay? And by the way, the closer to the teacher, the more expensive the chair is. So, immediately, the students, uy, what is this? But don't worry, Rafe tells them, don't worry. I am now going to announce to you the different job openings that you can apply for so that you can earn a salary. Life skills, di ba? That's how it is in life. You have to have a job. Otherwise, you will not survive. You will be homeless. You will not have a chair to sit on. So here are the job openings. On day one, he's going to distribute to them real job application forms that someday the students, when they grow older, will actually meet again when they will apply for job, and they will think, "Ay, this is easy. I did it already in grade 5. I know how to fill up a job application form." Now, by the way, when I say money here, money, rental, we're talking of virtual money or Mickey Mouse money, or in the case of Rafe, because he's been doing this for decades, he already has a currency in room 56, those laminated Mickey Mouse money or Monopoly money. Okay, so he will announce to them, okay, there are many job openings that you can apply for. Here are the jobs that you can apply for with a corresponding salaries. One, you can apply as a banker, because for every 5 students, one will have to act as a banker, keeping track of the income, salaries, deductions, interests of the 4 others. So for every 5 students, we need 1 banker. You can apply for that. The salary is $600 a month. By the way, he tells them, if you want to apply as a banker, you have to produce 2 recommendation letters from previous teachers who will attest to your integrity that you will not steal money. Banker. Okay? Here's another job opening, and it's the highest paying job of them all. It is the janitor. $650. Mas malaki kesa sa banker. Day 1. And the Rafe Esquith is teaching the young people. It's not the title, it's not the prestige, it's the service that you give that gives value to your work. So he divides the classroom into 4 areas. Each area, there is a janitor paid $650 a month to do the job of cleaning. That's why the classroom of Rafe is spick and span, very clean all the time, because there are janitors keeping the place clean as their job. Here's another job opening that you can apply for: graders. Now, some of you maybe earlier on, sabi ko, the bell rings at 7:30, pero the students are inside the classroom at 6 a.m. excited to do math and English and spelling drills. Okay? And some of you might be thinking, grabe, dagdag naman trabaho yan sa teacher. No, there are graders who are given a salary to do that job of grading, correcting, keeping a record of the scores of the students, keeping track of their performance in the math, English, and spelling drills, the graders. Here's another job opening that you can apply for: messenger. Because we need to send somebody to the principal's office to borrow the video projector, to go to the office to get a paper messenger. Here's another job opening that you can apply for: police officer, who will keep order and discipline in every district of the classroom. So the classroom, remember, we divided into 4 districts with 1 janitor in each district and 1 police officer to keep order in his area. Kahit walang teacher sa classroom, kaya. There's no problem of misbehavior because there are police officers paid to do the job. Here's another job opening you can apply for: video monitor. Now, let me emphasize this. Rafe believes in the power of movies, multimedia. Diba? There are some movies that are very powerful, that can be life-changing, that the life lessons can be so spectacular. I mean, some movies have moved you to become a better person. He collects, he has a collection, a big collection of these movies that are life-changing, that have values, that have life lessons, and students can borrow over the weekend to watch. And then on Monday, they return the video with answers to 3 questions that will bring out the life lessons in the movie. Okay? And some of them will borrow 2 or 3. Well, we need a monitor for that. We need someone to be on top of the video collection there. That's another job opening. Here's another job opening: recycler, the glamorous name for the garbage collector in the classroom. Here's another job opening: attendance monitor. And he warns them, class, this is the most boring job of them all because nobody usually is late. Diba? Nandun sila by 6 a.m. and nobody usually wants to be absent. Nobody is usually absent. That's a spectacular class. But anyway, we need an attendance monitor. So you see, class advisors, sabi ko sa inyo kanina, yung checking of attendance, hindi kayo dapat yan. Kahit estudyante kaya nang gawin yan. An attendance monitor. Here's another job opening: clerk, assisting the teacher, keeping order in the teacher's table, in the teacher's desk. Yan. So it's like a secretary to the teacher, making sure that the materials are available there. Here's another job opening: a librarian. He would have his own set of books there because Rafe Esquith would make his students do book reports almost every other week. Almost every other week, he would make them read books and write a book report. That's why, sabi ko kanina, by the end of the year, every single one of them is able to publish a book. I mean, even just putting together all these book reports they're able to make, that is one book by itself. But some of them come up with their own original book. It's amazing. Grade 5, and they are all able to write their own books. So we need the librarian to be on top of that. Okay, so you can come up with whatever other jobs, whatever other job openings that you can think of. Now, here is the costing of the chair rental. Diba sabi ko sa inyo, the closer to the teacher, the more expensive. So front of the classroom, $1,000 a month rental. Let's call it Bel Air. The middle of the room, let's call it Beverly Hills, $750 monthly rental of the chair. Hollywood, next to the video library, let's call it that. And the monthly rental is $700. Santa Monica, beside the water fountain, $675. There at the back of the room, the Skid Row, the cheapest, $550. What do you see? The monthly rental is bigger than the salaries. Life lesson. Di ba ganyan ang buhay? I mean, don't expect to be able to buy kahit Camellia Homes lang just with your salary. Hindi kaya. You need to look for other extra incomes. You need to look for other ways of earning money if you want to be able to buy your own house. In the case of Rafe, sabi niya sa estudyante, if you are able to pay the banker, kasi binibigay nila yung monthly rental sa banker, But if 1 month you give the banker 3 times of the monthly rental of your chair, you own the chair. You don't need to pay monthly anymore. You own it if you're able to give the banker 3 times of the monthly rental. It's life lesson. It's better to own than to rent. Okay, now, how then can they, if you put this in Philippine setting, let's call the front row. Diyan ako ngayon nakaupo sa Shangri-La. Ay, ako dito lang sa second row sa Rustans. Ako diyan sa third row SM. Ako sa Metropolis, yun, fourth row. Doon ako sa Lianas o kaya sa Aling Puring, Pure Gold. Doon ako nakaupo. Okay, so here are other ways by which they can earn extra income. Let's call it bonus money. For example, if you get perfect in the spelling drill, math drill, in the beginning of the day, then the banker will credit you with $50. Do it 3 in a row, perfect score in the math, spelling, or English drills, it becomes $100. If you get 90% on any other test, $50 lang yan. But if you get perfect score, the banker will credit $200 to your account. You complete a weekend video assignment, $50. So yung video, life-changing videos that I told you earlier, some of them will not just bring home one. They will borrow 2 or 3 so that when they come back on Monday, they earn $150. Perfect attendance for the month, $100. Kaya pala walang gustong mag-absent. Perfect coming to school early for extra math, $100 every single time that you come. Staying after school for Shakespeare, $100. Joining the school orchestra, $100. The school chorus, $100. Playing the guitar with the teacher during recess and lunch. Sabi ko sa inyo, Rafe is the teacher the whole day. He makes himself available during recess and during lunch to teach students, those who want, to learn how to play the guitar or the keyboard. And then if you attend that, you get $100 every time. So by the end of the year, all students of Rafe know how to play the guitar or the keyboard or both by the end of grade 5. Ay talagang life-changing, ano? Talagang life-changing. But the highest, of course, is being complimented by another teacher, $200. So some of them become so rich, they are able to buy their chair. They don't pay monthly rental anymore. They pay the banker 3 times and they own it. Some of them become so rich, they buy the chair of their classmate so that every month they come, okay, now you pay your monthly rental. Grade 5, and they develop in entrepreneurial skills. But there are also demerits or fines. For example, if you're tardy, $50 fine. If you miss homework, $50 fine. Rudeness, you are not listening when somebody is speaking, reciting, $50 fine. Messy desk. The police organizes surprise raids, checking on the desks of the students. If they find it messy, $100 fine. But the biggest fine is for dishonesty. If you are caught cheating, plagiarizing, cut and pasting, submitting something that is not really your work, dishonesty, $500 fine. So it works. The students, imagine the students excited to come to school, excited to learn how to play the guitar, the keyboard, excited to perform the Shakespeare, excited to do math and English drills. It's a mindset, it's a culture, it's a spirit that is able to create. Okay, finally, I will not give this. I will just end with my own strategies that I learned along the way in my years as a class advisor. I want to welcome you to my classroom. And for many years, my class was grade 5. My last year in Southridge, 2009, after that, I will move to the University of Asia and the Pacific. Walang gustong kumuha ng grade 7B. So sabi ko, sige na nga, akin na lang yan. Anyway, many of them passed through my grade 5B. So I know many of them. So, but most of the time, it was grade 5 that I was handling. Here is what I will do. And I encourage you to do something like this if you have not started your school year yet. You know, 1 week before the opening of the school year, I would go to the registrar's office. I would ask for the email addresses of the parents of the students in my advisory class, because I want to write them a letter 1 week before the school opening. 3 paragraphs lang. Paragraph number 1, I would introduce myself to them. I would introduce myself to the parents, letting them know that I have a PhD in literature, MA in creative writing. I was one of the first graduates of the school. I have been teaching for this so many years. I assure them that I know what I'm doing. I mean, teachers, when you go to the doctor's office, doctor's clinic, what do you see in the waiting area? Their diplomas displayed. They want to assure you that they know what they're doing. Certificates, trophies. When you go to a dentist's office, what do you see in the waiting area? Their diplomas, their certificates, picture of them receiving an award, a recognition. What do you see when you go to a lawyer's office? Their diploma, their certificates. Then why shouldn't we tell the parents, we know what we're doing, we are experts, we have a degree, we have been teaching for many years. I make them know because I write them this email 1 week before the school opening. And better yet, teachers, when you have the chance, display your diploma, display your certificates, display your awards in your classroom. Make the students see that you know what you're doing. Paragraph number 2, I tell the parents my contact details, how to contact me, what number. I even give them my cell phone and what best time of the day to contact me, my local number. Now, please, if you don't like your parents knowing your cell number, I respect that. I am not telling you to do it. I'm simply telling you this is what I did and it helped me greatly. The parents found it very easy to communicate with me, as I would find it very easy to communicate with them. And besides, they appreciate this because I'm going to tell them, let's work together. Let us work together to make this the best year for your son. It's an all-boys school. For your daughter, in your case, or son. They appreciate it. And then paragraph number 3, I tell them, please make sure your son brings with him his PE attire on day 1 because I'm going to do a lot of team building on day 1. Or sometimes I add here, by the way, on the first Saturday after the school year opens, the class will go to Enchanted Kingdom. If you allow your son to join, please submit the reply slip below together with his payment. And some of them are so nice, so nice. They return the reply slip with payment for 2. They want to pay for my ticket also because they've never seen a teacher like this who is eager to work with the parents closely. And 3, 4 parents would do that and wow, kumita pa ako. Meron pa akong allowance. I mean, I'm not kidding. It happens year after year. And some of them would even write a note, Mr. Rentoy, would you need a car, a van? My driver can be available. It has never been difficult for me to organize things for my students. So 1 week before the school year opens, they receive a letter already from me. And then the students on day 1, they enter the classroom and they immediately start filling up this form. Many of them will come way before the bell rings, and so hindi pa nagbe-bell, hindi pa nagre-ring yung bell to start the day, they're already filling up the student information sheet because I want to know as many things about them even before the bell would ring, their birthday, the awards they received, what are their hobbies, their parents' wedding anniversary, their father's name, the work that they do, their cell number. The same thing with a mother. And then, do you have brothers and sisters? What ages are they? And then I will know what position they have in the family. Are they the youngest? Are they the oldest? In the middle child? Hindi pa nagbebel, I know many things about them more than the other teachers already know about their own students. Okay, so welcome to my classroom. Here's a strategy I learned along the way as a class advisor. When you enter, you will see there hanging on the in front of the class their class names. I mean the names of the students. It's a name tag. On one side, you have the name of the student. At the other side is just a blank. And then I announce this to the class. Class, every time you contribute to class prestige, class unity, class honor, I will put a tag on your name. A tag is just like a small sticker, colored. Okay? Just like one of those sticky paper. So every time you contribute to class unity, class prestige, class honor. For example, the following students joined us for the Enchanted Kingdom last Saturday, thereby contributing to class unity. The following get a tag. As I announce the names, I put the tag at the back of their names. The following students qualified for the basketball varsity team, therefore contributing to class honor, class prestige. And as I announce the names, I put a tag at the back of their name tags. The following students qualified in the Glee Club, contributing to class prestige. As I announce the name, I put the name tag. Because at the end of the quarter, students with the biggest number of tags will get a certificate. Maybe the top 5 will get a certificate saying they are students of the quarter. And then the student with the biggest number of tags at the end of the year will receive a plaque, a trophy, a medal, whatever my budget would allow for being the student of the year of grade 5B best bets. Now, the biggest tags, of course, are reserved for the honor students. Class, if you get into the third honor, you will receive 5 tags. If you are second honor, you will get 7 tags every quarter. And if you get first honor, you will get 10 tags. Now, as I announce the names, it takes time for me to put the 5, the 7, the 10 tags. The clapping turns into applause and cheering, and the whole class is celebrating because their classmate made it to second honor, made it to first honor. It works. They start thinking as a class, as a team, as a 5B best bets, not as just a face in the crowd. It works. It gets the students very excited to, and you can put in whatever you want the students to do. For example, the following students participated in the MTAP. They get 2 tags each. International competition, 5 tags each. And the applause becomes cheering as it takes time to put those tags. And as I put those tags, the whole class is celebrating. It works. So this is be the best bets. That's the motto there. Okay, now let me talk about first day of the school year. I hope you haven't opened your classes yet, but if you have, you can do it next year or you can do it another time. Here is what research says. Sabi ng research, there are 3 things on top of the mind of every student on day 1. 3 things on top of the mind of every student. Number 1, am I in the right classroom? Number 2, can I sit anywhere? And number 3, who are you as a teacher? Those are the 3 things on top of the mind of every student. Who are you as a teacher? Are you going to be like my favorites in the past who cared for me? Or are you going to be like those terror teachers who hurt me? Who are you as a teacher? What kind of teacher are you? The first two do not apply in the online setup, but yes, third thing on top of the mind of every student continues to be on top of the mind of the students, even in the online setup. They want to know, what kind of teacher are you? Who are you as a teacher? Okay, so here is how it goes. Hindi pa sila nakakapasok ng classroom, I already answered the three. I will answer already the three even before they enter the classroom. Number one, am I in the right classroom? You should know, I emailed your parents last week, diba? Now, maybe some parents didn't get to write in the registration, in the enrollment, their email address. Okay, no problem. Here's the class list. There, you're in this class. Come in, come in. You are very fortunate. Number two, can I sit anywhere? I know. Look, I have a reserved seat for you. I reserved a seat for you. And look at that. I not only reserved a seat for you, I even have an assignment already for you. You see, you're going to be in charge of the wastebasket. Don't worry, next month, papalitan natin yan. And your classmate here will be in charge of litters. This other one will be in charge of collecting reply slips. This other one is in charge of the desk alignment. This other one is taking care of the erasing the board. So, hindi pa sila nakakapasok, malinaw na ang mensahe. Everyone has a role to play here. Everyone has a task to fulfill. Everyone is needed. Everyone is important. Question number three. Who are you as a teacher? I answered it because I followed the advice of Harry Wong. Even before the bell would ring, 1 hour or even more before the bell would ring, I would be standing by the door. No one can enter except through me. And I will welcome them with my biggest, widest, fakest smile. Some of them I would recognize and I would meet them and I would tell them, congratulations, you are in the best class. Come in, come in. And some of them I would even say, I've been waiting for you for a long time. Come in, this is going to be your most memorable year. I tell them all those lies. But you know, they believe the lies because that afternoon, these grade 5 kids, these grade 7 boys will go home excitedly telling their parents that they belong to the best class. Well, okay, now I will have to correct myself. Not that they believe the lie, they will make it happen and they will make it the best class they've ever had, really. Because that is now the next question we have in our mind, right? Does it work? By the way, I've been talking about, I mentioned about Enchanted Kingdom, going to the, doing this, doing that, orphanage, the visit to the, because as early as the 1990s, I had a personal agenda, a personal program. I would organize for my class advisory anything to get them away from the computer games. Anything but computer games. A day in Enchanted Kingdom is far better than the whole Saturday these boys playing computer games. And going to fully booked, spending one afternoon there with their friends is far better than a whole afternoon of Counter-Strike, ML, World of Warcraft, yung mga games na the more you kill, the more points you get. Anything but computer games. So we would spend an afternoon in BGC. We would organize camp out in the school, playing futsal, basketball, dodgeball from 7 in the evening up to 12 midnight. That's far better than playing computer games or Enchanted Kingdom. And our class would have a lot of celebrations. And it's not very difficult for me. You remember, I would give my cell number to the parents as I would have their cell numbers. And I would just have to text 3 dads, Mr. So-and-so, the class will have a lunch celebration because we were champions in the quiz B. And the three dads will take care of texting many other parents. Uy, ako nang bahala sa pizza. Can you take care of the drinks? It's never difficult for me to organize a lunch party for my class. By the way, Mr. So-and-so, on Friday, we will celebrate the birthday of the principal. We will appreciate any contribution of food from the... And I just have to text 2 or 3 dads, and they will take care of everyone else being informed. And I never had problems with having class celebrations because we were champions, because we won first place, because one of our students won in the international competition. So, and we would sometimes just spend Saturday together in Mall of Asia, in Discovery, it works. Anything but computer games. Okay, to answer the question, and I'm beginning to end now, I'll just show you my class websites. I always would have a website for my class to make it easy for communication with the parents, no? So that when I receive a text message from a parent, Miss Rentoy, kailan nga ba ulit yung SEM break? Ay, ma'am, nasa website natin yung school calendar. You can just check it there. Miss Rentoy, ano nga ba yung pointers for the religion? Ay, ma'am, nasa website na. It's very easy. It's just a matter of directing them to the website, to the class website. And now I'm going to show you the class website in order to answer the question, does it work? All those things you mentioned, Mr. Rentoy. Okay, here are some highlights of the websites. PQF is Parents Quarterly Forum. We would require parents to come quarterly to attend parenting talk on how to develop their virtues in them, how to help them grow spiritually. So, and as I mentioned to you, in many schools, ang hirap papuntahin ng parents to come for a talk. Not my class. Our first PQF would usually be 100% attendance. The second one, 90%, but it's still a historic high. It's still very high, okay? I never had difficulties getting my parents to come for parent activities. 86% here means in a class of 25, tatlo lang, hindi nakapunta. And then another year, the same, 100%, 86%. Gala attire, I never have problems getting my class to come 100% in gala attire. Other sections would usually have 3, 4, sometimes even as many as 5 students forgetting to bring their gala, not my class. I always have perfect attendance for that. Another school year, the same, 100% attendance of parents. Here, congratulations, we did it again. Of the 9 finalists in the book fair essay writing contest, 9 are from the 5D best bets. All the finalists came from our class. They become driven. They want to achieve, to contribute to class unity, class prestige, and class honor. And then, here's the key point. Okay, we would win cleanest classroom recognition. We would be the highest pointer in the Search for Class Excellence Award, the wing system. We would be given recognition for our outreach activities, for our Enchanted Kingdom trip. Now, but more importantly, is students are driven to excel academically. Here is an example. First quarter, and 23 of the 25 students, or 22 of the 25 students are able to make it to the honors list, which means only 3 did not manage to make it to the third honor, second honor, or first honor, which is not because we lower the standards, but because the students are driven, motivated, and they would like to achieve. And if you are from Southridge and you read names like this, you should be saying something like, oh, nag-second honor yan. Eh di ba muntik ma-kick out last year yan for failing in 3 subjects? Not in my class. They're driven. Or you will see a name like, oh, di ba na-suspend yan last year? Disciplinary problem yan eh. Not in my class. They become driven. They become, they have a different mindset, culture, and spirit. So the answer to the question is, does it work? Yes, it works. Here's another year, and the same. In a class of 25, only 3, 2 or 3 would not make it to the honors list. So the question of, does it work? It does. Okay, let me end by giving you my vision for your class advisory. Because it's almost time. And so I will have to end giving you my vision for your class. This is the kind of class you're going to have. If you follow some of these systems, some of these strategies, if you choose to be the best class advisor you can possibly be, this is what's going to happen. Your students are going to be very proud to be in your class. They are going to be very happy to be in your class. In fact, naaawa sila sa ibang classes. And the other classes, the other students in the other classes, naiinggit sila sa klase mo. They'd want to be there. They say things like, sana doon na lang tayo sa class ni sir, ni ma'am. Mas excited daw yung mga bata, yung mga students. And the parents are so satisfied and confident with you because they know that their class advisor genuinely cares for their children. The parents are just too eager to help you and support you. And the satisfaction of the parents comes especially from the realization that you, the class advisor, are a role model for their child. You are virtuous, upright, moral, high-impact teacher. I know some of you are thinking, ay, Mr. Rentoy, oo nga, ganyan-ganyan ang situation ko. Year after year. Naiinggit ang iba sa aking class. My students are very proud to be there. My parents are very happy to be there. I know because you're effective. You've been an effective class advisor. That's why the vision I'm sharing with you is not a vision anymore. It is a reality. It is what is already happening in your class because years ago, you've chosen to be an effective class advisor. The parents and the students speak highly of your professionalism, your punctuality, your firmness but fairness, your kindness, your positive attitude. And the parents say, you bring out the best in their sons, in their daughters. There may be complaints, kasi kahit naman sa eskwelahan may ganyan. Pero your presence, your attitude, your support, all make the problems for the parents look trivial and insignificant. Your students support you through and through. And the last thing they'd ever want is to upset you, to offend you, or be in disfavor with you. Parents may even lose trust, and students may even lose trust in some teachers, in the system, or even in the curriculum. But the fact that you are the child's class advisors, the class advisor, makes up for whatever shortcomings there are. And they're still able to say, it's still worthwhile to be here in this school. Sulit pa rin. Because you are the spirit of the class, the soul of the team, the magic behind the great class that it is. You're like the secret weapon why that class is a great class. The team spirit is so strong. Failure of one student causes sadness for everyone. And success of one is a great joy for the whole class. Hindi nag-aaway ang valedictorian at salutatorian na parang kulang na lang magpatayan because I hear sometimes it happens in some schools. No, you develop a certain spirit of the class that is founded on friendship and camaraderie. So there may be misunderstandings among the students every now and then, but they are ready to forgive for the sake of class unity. This is the vision. This is what our classes can become, regardless of how it was last year or in the previous years. You are what will make the school a better place. I mean, really, if there is anything that the school needs to become a better school, it's having um, big set of good class advisors.